just cleaned up the language is what they, were tasked with doing, if you will.
Amendments would have to be adopted by us, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, approved by us, yeah. Let's start.
So, Amber's supposed to be in here, but
Yeah.
you want to just give her a couple minutes because she has been on the floor,
That's fine.
and maybe have Leah talk about the abstract?
Come on up, Leah.
So
Good morning.
we're ready for 25 taxes. Exciting time. So the 24s, I have balanced it, and I'll give you all a sheet. We were just at 2% that was uncollected, so I thought that's about normal. So I felt good about that. We didn't see a big increase in delinquency.
Sure, thank you. We can share if you want. Okay.
So the first column, it just shows where we had our original abstract when Jennifer gave it to me, and then some of the escapes, abatements, and added. So the adjusted abstract is what we balance to. And then it just, within our system, this all prints. I do have a copy of every fund, but I just gave you the summary so you could see that. And so it just shows that we're just 2%, 2.03% uncollected, and that is just about what it is every year. So
What do each of these abstract stand for?
the first one is intangible,
Okay.
which in 25 is our last year for intangibles. The oil, personal property, real estate, state assessed, our specials, and trucks, which is personal property also.
Yeah.
And Jennifer got the okay from the state yesterday on our taxes.
So we'll be
It was the highlight of my week. So then we can start. She has some more things she has to do, and then we'll be ready to print. So if you have any questions about the abstract, then contact me anytime, and we can pull up the full abstract if you want. So
Yeah. On the uncollected, is it never uncollected, or it will come in later or something?
It's delinquent, so
Okay.
they'll pay it, or
Okay.
we'll take it to tax foreclosure. So, or you have warrants that the warrants have been filed in the district court. So we have a lot that don't get collected, and we need to maintain that again this coming year of writing off some of those really old ones that people are usually deceased or don't live here anymore and so forth.
So there was a threshold on intangible that you don't send a billing out if it's
Anything
less than
under
under $5. So does this,
That does not have that in there.
that does not include
No.
that in there?
No.
So those are people that, okay.
Mhm. So, okay, that was it. That's all I needed to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna guess that she got tied up, so did you have a chance to review the changes to the bylaws? Do you have any questions for the 911 advisory board or for the committee that we put together? The committee was comprised of Jeff Vaughn, John Holgren, and Nick Santos, so we had fire, law, and EMS representing us, so. And then the 911 advisory board did meet and reviewed them and that they would be approved or presented to you to for your review and then have an approval on, so.
I don't have any issue, I guess, from my standpoint, necessarily commissioners do on the bylaws. I've made it known earlier on more of the policy. of the radios and the encryption of all the radio channels is the only question I ever had. I know that that is possibly, according to, I believe it was not Amber, but the director before, Emily, that was where things were moving, just to total encryption. But right now, we're not required, as I understand it. I'm not an attorney.
Certain parts are required that they are
Right.
encrypted.
That was my only question.
Yeah.
Was keeping the main comms line, that it isn't transferring CJIS or
Yes.
personal information of the people we're dealing with, could not be encrypted. That was my question of whether we were going to do that or not.
Yeah, that's still on the table for discussion, but that's how it is set up right now and what we plan to do moving into the 800 communication system. So yeah, we'll still have some encryption channels, but the bulk of the stuff will go out over the radio, publicly. So yeah.
So for example, missing persons, when we bring that over the radio chatter, anybody in the public can hear that? Okay.
Yeah.
That was really the only thing I had. And then my only other question was on the our appointal, and I realized that we might have a good choice there. I just wanted to make sure there's members of the public on this and not just law enforcement, medical, or fire. And that's my only position that in that world, and you guys are kind of in their own world, is that's true over advisory from the public.
Right.
That's my only, and maybe these other appointees will cover that.
They certainly can. They
I
can.
just want to make sure that I know we're civil, but I don't know if I'm saying this
No,
correct.
no, but
Someone
absolutely.
other than law enforcement, fire, or medical is on that.
I think the tough thing about that is for the general public or some, it may be like a foreign language. I mean, it's just, it's
Could be.
not in
Yes.
your knowledge wheelhouse. So,
No, and I can understand that.
Mhm.
I really can.
and,
That was,
and this goes back a ways, but they're also, same thing, I'll probably not say it correct. You know, sometimes there's people that want to kind of vicariously get involved in something like that, and it's an overreach, and they want to be on the radio, and they want to do all this stuff, and that's, they kind of need to stay in their lane. This is advisory, it's not.
Right.
And so you really do, you want to vet people, make sure they're the
Absolutely.
right match.
Mhm. Yeah, because there's still some.
And good
Yeah,
intentions,
has to be.
and there's lots of variables, but,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, and it doesn't say in there that it has to be a member of, yeah. So that's entirely up to each of the entities who they want to appoint. So,
to make sure there's good representation of the public on there. That's really what I'm trying to get at here.
and I understand.
At the end of the day, that's who we're serving. We need to vote on this.
it's not on the agenda. I wanted you to review it first. So, but if you want to add it to the agenda, you certainly can do that.
I don't see anything in here that I want today, I guess. I don't see why we couldn't, but if you guys want to wait, we can. No, I'll go ahead and, let's go ahead and add the agenda to adopt it today. That would be in other business, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be a resolution formally?
I think you can just.
Just an
adopt it
adoption of
as
the
a
bylaw?
bylaw.
Okay.
Would you mind signing in, please? Thank you.
You can fix it.
I had it here, and I thought that'll make sense because I got to do this first before they can do this.
Well, I think actually what we can do is put that up here, sorry, under public comments. In the future, we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can have your resolution there. No.
Okay, yeah, because I said that'll make sense.
Yeah, no,
They have to do this first.
exactly, they have to.
Oh, there's the funds.
Yes.
They already did. I was gonna say, they kind of had it here.
Yeah. Thank you for checking on it though.
No, you did something. Oh, I get that. Yeah, yeah.
How are you this morning?
Jim is going to be able to brief you on what's going on there. I can see if Marcia wants to, if you have questions about the employee health insurance side, if you want to talk about that now, or if you want to wait until after Tim is done.
I don't, I know what is going on, I guess, but if you'd like.
Well, I mean, probably just, you know, just a brief summary of it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let me go get her. Yeah, if you don't mind, thank you.
The,
Things would take longer. You guys are just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, yeah.
came to work.
Yes.
Is Courtney's name spelled that way on the back of my iron?
That's how she wrote it on the sign-in sheet.
And even on her,
So that's how I put it on there.
okay.
A little different, but that's.
Yeah, there's no view.
Right.
Yeah, well,
I'll ask her about it.
yeah, yeah. A lot of orders, so, yeah, depends on what is interested.
I have no clue, so we haven't gone through that part. Yeah, next week, we'll just do that.
Yeah.
You guys approved the, you guys didn't, you approved the plan last week, didn't you?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there,
This,
we're gonna hand out what,
So the booklets will be emailed, or the link to the open enrollment booklets will be emailed up with all of the information in there. So that's what Marcia's been working on, make sure we've got everything in there, and then how to walk through and getting onto Employee Navigator where you go in and choose and that stuff. So,
I was surprised. Right.
where's it in?
That he dropped. That much.
well, I thought we did. Yes, it's a blue. Okay, because
you like
I'm
it.
just gonna go get one myself.
More of a push there, I think. Oh, yeah. Well, I think people know. It depends on that. Yeah, I don't know.
Gotta get out there.
It since you look that way. So.
There's in the last 5 days.
What happened? Fill out their needs report or what?
Well, but if you look at what it is for the year,
Oh, you're doing okay.
yeah, careful.
got a 700%.
I might have one in my office.
So, twice I stayed. Yeah, we went to my office. Oh, good.
Doug coming to.
Your open house.
They had a former Senate President, Morris out of Dickinson. Oh, so I know a few. I had one or two that were maybe going to come to my deal, but since that's kind of. I mean, that's a long ways to drive.
Yes, it is.
And I don't know if it was three legislators coming in, so. One of them's going to be in. Well, they're in Topeka anyway, so they were coming back that morning through, so.
Sure,
So at least we got good weather for it.
Want to come up, Marcia?
My concern is if it rain.
Sorry.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Good, you?
Good. Marcia Snyder, HR Director. Just a little update on open enrollment. After discussion last week, we did go ahead and go with the gravy for health insurance. Katie is working on our open enrollment book, so I expect to get that today or tomorrow. So I can get that sent out to all the employees. Open enrollment will be the 10th through the 17th with on-site help on Wednesday and Thursday, the 12th and 13th, for employees to come in and ask any questions. So that's about all I have.
You know, Aflac has been here also. Are they still here or?
No, they were here on Monday and Tuesday.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that's an optional
that's an optional
enrollment for employees.
And we have to, employees have to, we have to offer it to the employees and show that they were offered it. So that's why we have to have employees decline it if they don't want it. It's a compliance piece of insurance. So.
So on these, what is the, oh, it's down here, the high deductible, okay. Okay, no deductible. I guess in your mind, is it pretty comparable to what we replaced it, what we went from to?
Yes.
I know I'm kind of getting in after the fact here, so. But no, honestly, we went through this as a company, so I guess I've been down this path before, so I kind of already know a little bit about it, but that's what all I wanted to ensure is that it was comparable and that we were trying to keep the employee costs down as much as we could and still give them good coverage, so.
I'm confident we've done both.
So, and obviously the county costs makes a difference too, but.
Yes.
The good thing is we were able to keep the employee rate the same on the plans and then offer two plans that, through grading, that are intriguing, if you will.
Yeah, they have two plans called Comfort Fit. So I'm just learning about them as well, but there it's a $0. If you go to the doctor for doctor visits, MRIs, labs, there's an out-of-pocket max. One is at $5,000, one's at $6,350. And so that might be intriguing to some employees that they know they're just paying their premium every month and then they don't have a copay if they go to the doctor or for the prescriptions. So I think that's a good option for the employees as well.
And then I assume this, maybe this is everywhere now, but teledoc, is that something that they can do? In other words, they can call instead of having to go, if you do have a copay,
Right.
instead of going in and paying your $50 or $100 copay, you can call oftentimes and get that.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm trying to diagnose this. Yes.
Yes.
That can save you
that's
some,
well.
perfect.
It's just a different direction to go, and education of our employees is what we'll be focusing on as well, but.
Save a lot of money doing some of the resources that the
Yes.
offers really want to get that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know how much. Thank you for getting this done, and timely manner and it didn't upset things too much, so.
Yeah, change is always difficult, but I think.
I hope it didn't. I don't know, you did the work, so.
There was a bad taste from before, so I'm hoping this one will be smooth, and I'm encouraging the employees, if they have questions, either ask me or reach out to the RBKD reps, because we're here to help. And just more education to people on how to use their health insurance, and if something comes up, to look at their bills, and if something doesn't look right, to ask questions, that sort of thing. Because you never know until you have to use it,
I will say, this is an argument for self-insurance a little bit. I know that self-insured side did not go up by this much. So I know we were talking about trying to look at those options, and I think this kind of brings it up a little bit in a way.
Yeah.
So I know you can kind of curb those increases a little bit better being self-insured. Now, there's some risks with that. We've talked about that, and we know that, but it kind of, for me, it makes me want to, I'd like us to explore it. I know we're going down that path, but just thought I'd mention it for the public.
Okay.
And you did have opportunity, I guess, to visit with them about other groups, not just Dickinson County, but other groups that had gone down this pathway. And so that kind of gained some understanding that it's not like we're just ones kind of out there, that there's others, school districts and other counties and so on.
Yes.
Visited
We
with.
try to learn from each other's
Exactly.
hardships, and
Mhm.
also times when it works out well, we learn from others too. So.
Yeah, insurance world is changing tremendously, so, and just trying to keep up with it there's a lot to it, so.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Have a good day.
You guys are rolling. What do we have to make here? What?
She's late.
Oh, yeah,
She's probably busy, I guess.
yeah, I think so. If you want to have Kim.
Yeah. You want to come on up? Morning.
Morning. My second update for you guys this year. So we have so far, we still have this month and next month for permits. So far, we're at 71 permits. It's the most permits I think I've seen since I've been here.
So what types of permits, maybe if you,
Okay, I've broken it down, 18 single-family, new single families in unincorporated Dickinson County. That's a lot. That's probably the most, like I say, that I've seen since I've been here. Now, there is a caveat, 2 of those are replacement homes, but that's still a lot. And the average value from what I've been able to see, what applicants been submitting is about 200,000. That's the average across the board for those.
you have the low and the high in there? Or,
No, I just averaged everything else.
Mhm.
I think the lowest I've seen is probably about 70,000 or something like that. Highest is close to 500. But
well, that's good news on lots of counts, because there's builders and workers and material suppliers, the lumber yard.
the other thing that came up was, and it kind of it coincides with what Chancey had talked to you about when he gave his update. In September, I went to the Kansas Association for Floodplain Managers conference, and the big thing that came up there was the status of FEMA. And FEMA is going to be in existence, from what I understand with this administration, but it's going to take on possibly a different form or a format. There may be a little more state requirements as far as like responsibilities for for funding and that sort of thing, as well as, and this carries over into things like, let's say, like grant money for flood mitigation programs and things like that. They're going to be there's not going to be as much, whatever's there is going to be more competitive, I think. And so that's that's where we're at right now. But in general, FEMA is going to be, nobody knows how it's going to look going forward. Couple of years, because we just, it's apparently in transition at the federal level. So how that's going to translate to us they said we don't know yet. And every question that we had for them, they couldn't answer it, as far as the state folks that look at, the Division of Water Resources people that are really close to FEMA Region 7, and they said they don't even know what's going to happen. Anyway, but that's that. There's that, and update on the Planning Commission side of things. We'll be meeting this month. I'll be giving them options on hydrogen wells as far as potentially amending our agricultural zoning districts to allow hydrogen wells. I did some investigation with Kansas Commerce Commission, and they basically told me that yes, they do regulate hydrogen the same way they regulate all gas. They said there's no need to change your regulations. They said it's just, but they said even though, because they said they view hydrogen as being part of natural gas. All they said you can change them if you want to call out hydrogen, but they said there's no need to. But anyway, that's going to be going to them in a couple of weeks. And we're looking at probably a resolution for that if there is an amendment to that coming to January.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's all I got.
Real quick, back on the 71 permits, you said 18 single family. Do you have any more information on the rest of them?
The rest of those permits, I would say, I guess it's 53 or whatever it is that's remaining, are for accessory structures.
Okay.
All like ag buildings, garages, things like that.
Okay.
One thing Tim has been trying to get back out, the planning or the appraiser's office, there's a lot of people, I'm not gonna say a lot of people, there's been several that building out in the county that did not pull a permit, so Tim's been following up with that. Just as a reminder, if you're gonna build out in the county, you do need to have a building permit, so come in and talk to Tim or go online and talk to Tim. If you have any questions about that.
And people have been really good. We had one gentleman had something on the order of 16,000 additional square feet of buildings that were put up without a permit, and within the past couple of years, and the appraisers caught it, and he was nice and paid the $1,000 fee. So that was quite helpful for the revenue side. But he was all right about it. He says, "Oh, I didn't know I needed." Yeah, he said, "I didn't know I needed a permit."
Really, my question there is, I know we had one venue open, we had a seed. Really, I was kind of asking that, or do we have some businesses opening, getting permits?
Well, yeah, the ones that are coming in that you guys are aware of, the seed company and venues and things like that, those usually come through me anyway. There's the one business that's was tabled by the Planning Commission last month was the little small, they're wanting to do a small retail sale of things like variety of things like tools and produce and things like that. And that's been tabled so that there's some issues that were on that property that needed to be addressed before we actually proceeded with that. And so they are addressing those issues. And so that's going to go back to the Planning Commission in January and to address possibly that will come to you all in February.
Okay.
Most of them come through as a CUP. I don't have any of them
Yeah.
that would be a business that build a building out there that you're not.
No, is. And again, the appraisers are really good at catching that stuff for me and saying, hey, look, this looks like.
Really what I'm asking is, do we have some commercial growth? It sounds like we have some single family homes being built. That's great. Commercial growth is even better at the same time. If we have both, adding jobs in homes, that's always great.
Yeah, a lot of the commercial growth you'll see, obviously, it's going to be more in the urban areas, but out in the country, there are some, but it's usually a good indicator of where they're locating. And so if you get a lot of people that are locating outside of the hinterlands of Abilene, outside that 3 miles boundary, they're doing pretty good. So we're doing okay. So that's, most of the ones that we've been seeing are closer to town.
Sure.
Which is good, but that's where the infrastructure is. But like I say, it's a couple of them have been like in particular, this particular little retail place that they're wanting to do is way up north. And so that's good. You always want to see some sort of business going up in those more rural areas of the county.
Tim, on the building permits, does that include the small communities too that are incorporated?
No, those are all unincorporated. These would include areas like Holland, those areas that are unincorporated as well. But Lisa gave you, I think, the accurate number for the permits that they're processing, and that includes all of the city of Abilene, Solomon, Chapman, Hope, all of those.
That was at 291, I believe. Yeah.
So Lisa would be able to tell us, I guess really what I'm asking here is how much have we grown in the last year? It's really the question I'm trying to get at. Could we ever somehow put that together? I think it'd be interesting to know if we're growing or not.
So some of those would be, were the one where you found buildings that had already been completed. I mean, they'd go on the tax roll valuation immediate.
Right.
Yeah.
But on the permits, really until they complete the project. So some of those won't necessarily show up until
next year.
2026.
So, and what you'll have next year, you'll have the new construction that has occurred, so we'll have that breakdown there.
Okay.
But we're not gonna know if they left a home and built a new home out there. Getting that is a little bit trickier to get, unless the real estate agents.
I would
do something
still
like
kind
that.
of count that as growth. I mean, when they're leaving a home, somebody's probably gonna buy it and move
Right.
into that home. So
Right.
we don't have to get too in the weeds there. I'm just curious, how many new homes have we built? How many businesses have either moved or opened up?
Or
I know we
expand.
got
A lot of the businesses that I've been seeing over the past couple of years are expansions, because like the seed company, they're expanding. I think they had another location somewhere else and they're expanding here. So it's it's something that I can keep an eye on and see how it all depends on how growth is kind of one of those that's, unless you pin down what the definition of growth is, as far as like whether it's like population growth and that sort of thing, I can tell you we've, from the 20 census, I said the population has gone down a little bit. I think it ticked down from the last census, but it would be interesting now to find out what the population is now that we're halfway through that.
next year, right?
Yeah.
We'll have a census next year, I believe, in the federal government. Okay. Thank you, Tim. Oh,
Does Dickinson County have a land bank?
No, the county does not have a land bank. 2 of our communities do.
Okay, I know Abilene has some.
Harrington.
in Harrington.
Mhm.
We got a little time, do we, I guess,
I mean, unless you have a question
Yeah,
about,
I have a question on
yeah, go ahead.
some roads that are, one's marked minimum maintenance, one's not, that's impassable. With an ATV, you can't even get at it. Do we need to be contacting the township board, or do we need to be bringing it here?
But you could,
Somebody's gonna have an accident on that one.
what's the location of it, sir?
That one, 2200 and Quail.
In Quail? Okay.
And just kind of for the record,
That's on the west side.
It's good to have your name too, if we,
Todd Hedma,
I mean, I knew, but I just thought,
because I went down
Those
to check
listening.
fence the other day and you can't get through.
Yeah, I believe that is,
It's about 5 foot deep right in the road.
I believe that is a township road, so they would have to make the request to declare it minimum maintenance or to vacate it.
We ought to have a sign up or something.
So this-
If it hasn't been,
Sure.
but if it hasn't been declared, then
You
we
have
wouldn't
a
sign it.
Sign up that said impassable with high water.
Mhm.
And probably some kid had flashed up to it, but
Township still has to make that request because they would have to pay for it.
if there is a road that's already labeled as
Minimum maintenance.
maintenance,
Mhm.
can we put the road back where it should be instead of where it is? It cuts off an acre of my ground on one corner.
If that's a township, we got to start with them. Yeah, because they're responsible for it.
Where do we find out who's on the township board?
County clerk, I
County
can
clerk.
help you.
Yeah.
If you go to the county clerk's office, they can give you the contact numbers for all of them.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what I need. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Thanks for the question.
Thanks for coming in.
well, and the important factor too on that is even though the township pays for the sign,
Mhm.
if something happens where there's an accident, if there's liability issues, not having a sign up,
Mhm.
could become an issue
Right.
potentially, so. So just from the safety standpoint, and that's, the situation too, that sometimes people run into, they assume every county road is very similar in maintenance, and if they're trying to get the shortest distance and cut across, whether they're, so it's people that are unfamiliar with those roads that are on those roads also.
Mhm.
So I guess that's the.
So
that's a bit of a
you
concern.
don't always want to watch your GPS,
That's true. You get,
especially when they say shortest route.
yeah.
Well, and sometimes you can even figure out it must be the shortest route.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's like, whoa, where are you taking me?
Yeah.
years ago, I came off the Longford Road, but I was in Dickinson County and started cutting across to the east there, and you just end up here in a pasture pretty much.
I understand that.
And
Lynn,
yes,
I have a question. So when talking about the building permits and stuff, and every once in a while, we see signs, like permits to burn, and there'll be the phone number. And I don't think so, but on main county lines, why don't you have a sign that says building permit, just like that, and information?
Permit required.
Building permits, call here, so when people are in, because I know a ton of people that are relocating and staying in Chapman in the area. And, unless, they may come from an area that it wasn't a thing, so they don't think about it.
So some of that is going to come back to the cost to put the signs up and where we can place them. So we're adding more in the right of way. And then if there's an accident, that's another sign that somebody could hit too. So there's a safety concern with that, so.
But then if you're gonna okay, well, you built all these barns, if you've not went from Chapman to Clay County, there are tons of Amish buildings.
Mhm.
And, then you're gonna require a fine, so, how are you informing people? Are you making it hard for people to relocate here then? If you're not going to help them easily get information as far as building or things like that, I just say be helpful and friendly and upfront, or however you're going to promote. You need to have zone, and this is zone county, that you need these building permits, this and this is allowed. So I think we could say no dumping signs too, because right now I'm seeing mattresses and recliners and lawn chairs.
Absolutely.
In the ditches right now.
Mhm.
And so we got some kind of awareness that we need to.
And that's why we're talking about it now, and we've been on the radio, it is on our website, and we do have signs posted that we are a zoned county. But it also would behoove whoever's moving here to reach out and ask some of those questions too. We're always very happy to help.
So on that zoning sign, what does it say when?
Dickinson County is a zoned county.
Okay, what, could something not real simple, building permits needed, right below on the same sign that's already there.
We could, I think what Janelle's maybe getting at is the cost of going out and replacing them all now, but maybe as we replace them, we could start doing that.
You know, on our green signs.
Yeah.
There's those little stickers that, you know, have been added. Why couldn't,
Yeah.
building permits needed?
Well, maybe it's,
Sticker added onto that sign, and that would be very minute.
I think maybe it could be something we, would phase in as we go to replace our signs.
We can definitely look at that, yeah.
Or look at ways to inform people.
Right.
Sometimes, and we give people the benefit of the doubts, even though they should know. But occasionally, sometimes the builder thought the owner was going to take care of it just from the conversation. And the owner thought, hey, you know, the builder knows what to do, and they thought they'd take care of it. And so it just kind of gets dropped, you know, from that standpoint.
Builders like say.
But they're supposed to be,
You know, different companies, they come from outside our county to build a home or to build a metal barn.
Just an idea, the digital
That's not
sign.
their worry.
yeah, but it's
Maybe we,
pretty much the same in every county.
So it gets used pretty regularly.
Does it?
When we're
I was
closing,
gonna say, could we-
working on roads or like working on the collection now and just different things.
Yeah, Tim might have more on this, but for example, in
put it on that
Salina,
corner.
Yeah.
back when and this was
We're not using it,
quite
just.
a few decades ago, if someone started a project without a permit, and they could have their sheetrock up and stuff like, they'd have to take stuff down to prove that the electrical work was done properly.
Yeah.
They'd have to take framework down, and it's like, you know, you didn't notify us, and so you spent a week putting everything up, now spend a week taking everything down, disassemble it. And so I'm kind of the opinion, it's so strict in some cities and other counties compared to us, that
We want
most
to be
builders,
friendly.
but most builders should know that.
See that we're having growth. Do we want to stop?
I'll give you a story though.
I think we are.
Being on the EDC, there was a case in downtown Abilene where they didn't apply for permits. I don't know where that went. So this isn't a county, I mean, builders do that. It's really on the
But we
builder.
want to be county friendly.
And part of the
We want to be
purpose-
friendly. We
Yeah.
don't want to reach-
What I'm saying is everyone knows when you build in a city, you gotta have a permit. I don't think there's a place on earth that doesn't do that. So sometimes there's some negligence.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
Tim, you might have kind of a,
Well, what I was gonna say is, people who, that I've spoken with that have come here to get permits from out of town. And, they say, we're extremely easy to work with as a county. We are very good to work with. And they said, you go to some other counties around and they sometimes their permits aren't approved for 6 months.
And I'm gonna say, just remind you, 291 permits pulled for this last year that Lisa reported. So that's a lot of permits across the county. We haven't seen that many permits in the past. So
The word's getting out.
the word is getting out. I mean, we'll continue
It's like
to try
6
to
a
do
week.
that. Yeah, there you go. I mean, we're gonna continue to try that. And then, like I said, it's on our website. We'll talk about it on the radio. We can put it on the Facebook, our Facebook posts via Facebook, you know, and things like that. So, yeah, well, I mean, we're doing everything that we can.
Go ahead.
Well, and when I was in construction, the builders were required in order to work in that community.
Yes.
And that's where I'm going. The builders need to be the ones who are educated.
They should know, if they're a certified builder, who and what needs the
Mhm.
permission.
That's kind of the deal that happened downtown. At the end of the day, the question got asked in that conversation, why didn't the contractor do this? He's the one doing the work, because he's gonna have to redo the work, or she, whoever it be, if they don't get a permit.
All levels of professionalism in that.
Yeah.
And some of that is on the homeowner.
Well, yeah, yeah.
When you
They-
try to hire a contractor, you need to check them out, and make sure that they're
As I said,
approved
there's
by the.
all levels of professionalism.
I know one.
But I get your point, though.
it's a good discussion.
It is.
Feel free to reach out.
But yeah, I think awareness, a little more awareness.
I asked Janelle, the digital sign, it gets used a lot. If it's not, I asked her, maybe we throw that up on Old 40 maybe on 15 sometime if we have the chance, and just put on there, building permits required in county.
Real simple.
We have done that, yeah.
See, where in my part of the county, there's a lot of new homes going up in the country, and I think we've discussed this. The roads are dirt roads. That's creating a problem because now
That's just what I was gonna
they were having trouble getting their homes, but they built a brand new home out there. But the bigger problem that I get phone calls are when cows lay down, they're not dead.
I was just gonna say, we've had within 5 miles of where Bobby and I live, which is very rural, we've had 5 new homes
Yep.
go in out there, and one that I can see from my back door is a very, very nice home. But the infrastructure, the roads are not being improved, and I understand. Bobby's on the township board, and he's contracted with the county to do roads. But these people also don't understand the difference between, and I have a daughter that never understood this, the difference between a mud road and a gravel road. And, I walk out in there and people just tear the heck out of these
Yes, they
mud
do.
roads. And our townships are very, their budgets are very tight.
Yes.
They're very, very tight. And the rock is sometimes an issue. And I listened to the planning and zoning meeting where up in the north end of the county, Cheever, they're wanting more rock and that can disappear real quick until you get these. But our infrastructure, it's great that we're getting all these homes.
Yes.
But our infrastructure is suffering.
In theory, though, and you will have more traffic also because of that.
Yes.
But if you have more valuation come up in the township, if there's 4 or 5 houses,
Yeah.
maybe some of the property tax that they generate, some of that,
Right. And
The
that would be
township
a
benefits.
good thing out of there.
and so that's the way they can
Yeah.
offset that budget without increasing it on everybody.
And there are townships that have started moving forward, having an agreement that if a new business or home, just depends on the number, comes in,
Yeah.
then they will be responsible for helping either build the road or put the rock down in that and take some ownership of that as well, because the traffic is increasing. So, and that was a topic of discussion at the last meeting with Cheever, in particular, how they were handling that. And it's worked out very well for them up there. And I know in Wally's Township, which is, I can't remember now, but there's other townships that are doing that too, so that helps. So, but I mean, Kay's right. The infrastructure needs to be improved, and
It
budgets
does.
are tight. They are
It really
tight.
does. It really does. And the people that are moving out there don't always understand.
They don't know what
They don't.
rural living is.
They don't know. And, then sometimes they even call and say, we need a dozer to get this.
There you go.
person out." And
And Tim does go over that when they pull a building permit and remind them, you are living out in the rural areas now,
yeah,
so.
And I
It's
get
not-
people complaining to me that have been, they'll build a new house and they'll complain because there's a smell coming that they don't like, and I just, hey, you signed it saying that you
Yeah.
understood that there was gonna be,
Yeah.
you're living in the county.
That's the smell of money. I
I
don't
know.
know what it's called. That's money. Coming down the road.
Scares me on their septic tanks and stuff, of what you're talking about. Some of these folks are gonna have
Do have to get a permit for that and
Yeah,
inspect
yeah,
it, so
yeah,
yes,
have a license
yes.
contract.
I
Yes.
don't think some of these people never even owned a septic tank.
No, I'm
If they
sure
know
they
that they have
Well,
one,
they don't, exactly.
you're on your own.
Not to put down
Exactly.
Interesting.
Again, it's education.
Yeah.
And their lagoons aren't lagoons where the kids go play and swim in.
No.
Sure hope not.
You know,
Good fence.
And,
Summary on
between,
elections.
on Quail Road between Old 40 and Interstate, because we live just northwest of there, I would say there's been probably zero improvement to the roads right along the golf course. And if you want to lose all the rollers and stuff out of your stock trailers, you just go up and down that road for 30 years.
Yep.
And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, or at least 4 new houses within like a half a mile. And one place, I'm just gonna say it's a big collection of them, not sure what, but they actually will park their lowboy for a good part of the day on Quail Road. And it's very narrow. One day I was hauling hay and had another truck hauling hay behind me. And here's this lowboy, and he was there 4 or 5 hours just parked there. And it's it's very washboardy. So I don't know what Noble's.
I never parked on a dirt road. That seems like a way to get hit.
Yeah, so it's become more popular, but that runs toward the river. So when it is very rainy, it washes out of everybody's driveways coming off the hill. I mean, Noble can never, it's not changed in 30 years. And there's a lot more people in
Oh,
the
yeah.
area.
I live on one of them on Daisy. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Daisy, there's 2 cattle yards there. And you got to keep the cattle yards going. It's just not a question. But yeah, that washboard's out right now going down the hill there. I mean, something fierce. So
Yeah. So
probably more than 2 examples. Yeah.
And people just flying out of the driveways because and there's nowhere to go.
I think someone moved in up there. I saw a Volkswagen. I don't see those very often on Daisy Road. So. Maybe someone got a new car. I don't
There you go.
I'll do good on the low maintenance.
Want Jennifer to give a,
Yeah. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay, just a brief, what happened on the general election. We have 13,854 registered voters. As of yesterday, we had 2,481 ballots cast and a total turnout of 17.91%. If you'd like to see the full results, you can go onto our webpage at www.dkcoks.gov/elections and click on the elections results tab. Should have write-ins posted soon.
One of the.
So the canvass of the voting by regulation, it has to take place on or before. So we will meet again.
County canvass is next Thursday.
So Thursday, you set the date for Thursday at
8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And that's when we will review all the provisional ballots.
And so we should be able to do that in a couple of hours.
We're hoping so.
So gonna put us on the fast track.
Yeah.
The work session will proceed after that. If it gets delayed, then it'll just happen after that. We're gonna put that on the agenda.
And kind of just a FYI, it's an open meeting as far as you can observe on a canvas, but on a canvas, we don't have any conversation back and forth, or we can't answer any questions. So anyone can come in and watch if they have an interest, and sometimes people do, especially if it has to be a close race.
Mm.
There might be a couple that potentially they're close enough that maybe there's going to be more interest on those.
I had some questions over confusion over the link up top. People
Link
were
on-
hitting on the website.
Oh, yeah, we're fixing that.
And
That's
it
it.
had to go to a login. Some
It's an
people were
engineering.
questioning whether that was our site or.
It is.
And I said, yeah, I mean, if it's .gov, it's very
Mhm.
hard to rip those off, but I said,
Oh, it's the way the alert was set up,
okay.
and we have contacted our website. And it's an engineer deal, so it's gonna be a couple days to fix it, but
Perfect.
it does say login first, to be clear. Or no, it says view all at the top. So
Yeah.
when you click
You
the
click
view
that, it
all,
wants
it
you to
brings you
log
to a
in.
login page.
Yeah.
But if you just look a little bit down, below that view all is the link to the actual.
Yeah, I saw
page.
that. So yeah, if you actually go to the election results, you'll see a blue link on that. Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just addressed
sorry, I'm
that yesterday.
explaining it for you.
No, it's okay.
How many days between the election and the canvass has to be held? Is it
I say 13, but I don't know for sure.
Okay, there's something in statute on that.
Yeah,
that's what-
there's a date.
10 or 10 is-
I'm gonna, it's not,
I will not be here next. Oh, go ahead. I will not be here next.
You know what I mean, 13? Okay, okay.
so then we'll appoint another canvasser.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone in the green shirt raised their hand. but-
That's what I was thinking.
Marcus, okay, good.
We'll find someone.
Yeah, he usually does. He does, yep, he's done that in the past, so. And Amber said she could come up for a couple minutes and just touch on anything on the bylaws, so.
I'll just wait for her. Let's, we have a good conversation. Let's get, want to keep, we'll talk about something else.
Yep, you're good. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, there you go.
Question.
Yeah, we could.
I don't know.
Ron was asking if we should announce our tour and if they
Oh, absolutely.
come up and ask questions while we're out or something. Whenever you get a chance.
So the county commission annually, we've done that, I don't remember how many years now, have taken a road tour of different projects that have been worked on or will be working on or identifying some of those. So we're going to take that right after the meeting. And we're going to head south and we'll break it up into a couple different meetings, but head south and take a look at the overlay project, the bridges that we contracted out, the 3 bridges that we had contracted out. They're working on that. We'll look at the EMS station down south and the communications tower. So, and then in a couple weeks, we'll head up north and kind of hit some of those too. Look at the micro seal that's been going on, the paving projects that the county has done and what we contracted out. Look at the First Road Bridge. So a lot of different things that we'll take a look at it and then identify maybe some sites that we have in our plans for upcoming work in the next couple of years. So such as the HRRR project, the high risk rural road project there on 1400 Avenue. So we'll drive past that and just a reminder, the grant money that we received and how that's going to proceed. So it'll be good.
Where's the EMS station?
In the Harrington EMS station. Yeah. So, oh, no, yep, no. And we're not building new. We're just taking a tour of the building. Yep. Yeah.
So if you see a lot of ambulances sitting there in Navarre,
Yes.
so they said they stage at the Navarre Co-op.
Yeah.
And so if you can on the radio, they say their reference one. Basically when old ambulances are out, they'll go there as a central location and stage there. So if you see a lot there, that's a
Because we're so cut off in some ways. So, you know.
Yeah.
Do you know what's the status of my soon-to-be nightmare bridge out there?
The judge will
Somebody
hear,
called and wanted to know how soon they were gonna have to start.
gotcha. The judge will hear oral arguments on November 17th. So,
No, not that.
no,
Not
that
that, no, not that nightmare. That's way.
Another one. Yeah.
No, I know all that.
Yep, I figured so.
The
But
1100 Avenue Bridge,
Oh,
next to my house.
so they were supposed to start here pretty soon, but I haven't,
By the end of October.
yes.
And it's because I think it was Kerry Whitehair called me.
oh, yeah.
You know, he'll have to go clear around and you talk about tearing up mud roads. I mean,
Yes.
because Bobby's trying to figure out how.
Oh,
the mat
absolutely.
is gonna cross to do the county contract when it snows.
Yes.
They're gonna have to go to either 1400 or down to
Or down to,
Highway 43.
yep. Let me text Martin and see.
I just-
It's a KDOT project, so we're
Okay,
kind of
yeah.
in the,
Well, they haven't even moved anything.
no,
So, as the longer it waits, I guess, the better for me, but
Mhm.
when snow flies, it's not gonna be
Yes.
fun going
No, absolutely not.
around. And, so Kerry Whitehair called yesterday, I think, and asked.
Yeah, let me see if I can get an answer.
And it, it doesn't really make any difference, but.
Let's get,
Federal funding?
That day.
That was, so it's the cost share program with the state of Kansas, so, yeah, it's just a 90-10 match, or 80-20 match, I forget which one.
They're still coming, but nothing is coming to the state from the federal government. So like some of my grant money is not coming.
Right.
You know what? I never even thought of that, and because I didn't figure out why Bob wasn't getting paid. Well, the cost share for NRCS.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
I'm like, well, this is great.
yes.
Yeah.
Come on up.
Yeah, I think you, yeah.
Morning.
Hello, Amber Piper, 911 Director. Did you guys have a question about the bylaw?
No, I honestly didn't.
Sorry, it was a surprise. I was phoned up.
I was trying to talk to you.
Oh, what do you guys want? Wait till
Just like
next week.
seeing
I have a
it.
fun, exciting presentation for you for Manager's Day. So
Yeah, no,
I'm going to show you guys interactive stuff next week. So
oh, perfect.
instead of coming up here and constantly telling like my employees work hard, they're doing great, they're being very positive, we do tough stuff, we have fun new toys. I decided, hey, I'm going to show you next week some of
You know, that sounds good.
Look forward to it. Well, I won't be here, actually, so.
them.
It'll be recorded,
Yeah.
it'll be recorded.
Yeah. No, I think this is, I mean, it's,
You guys know about the 911 advisory board?
we do.
So what I found from being here for 2 months is, it's a very nice setup. It's something that I wasn't used to before coming here. I think it has a good representation of, if any changes are being made, it represents fire, law enforcement, EMS, 911 well. Honestly, we've had 2 meetings that have been here, and we have so much stuff that we're trying to work through that we have to table it after 2 hours, just so we can get everybody out. But it's been very successful. In one of those things, I guess they didn't have bylaws, and so there wasn't, I think most of the changes they're proposing are pretty self-explanatory. It just had not been
Yeah, not.
updated for a while, and so they were making sure that the people that were appointed and actually had a vote was still relevant and important and kind of represented a vote from everybody that not mattered, but everybody, so everyone had representation in some way before changes. The only other thing was, I think it used to be that Janelle would make the decision, the county administrator, and they wanted to propose that we actually brought things back to you
Yes.
guys. So that was a change. And then basically, it had certain little rules that didn't make sense, like if it didn't meet if things didn't make the agenda, you couldn't bring it up at the meeting. We kind of thought that was outdated. Instead of having to wait for a meeting every 3 months, if 3 members felt something was important, you could bring a meeting quicker than that. But other than that, there wasn't a whole lot of changes. I actually don't have a vote on the board, but because I represent 911 as the director. And I'm an official record keeper.
How many votes on the board is required to do an amendment?
7.
7 out of the how many members?
Have to count them because the yellow ones.
Is it a 51% vote? My question.
We just say the majority.
Yeah, so I think when they came down, the majority was 7.
Yeah.
I think this is fine, and that's still gonna come to before the commission.
Yes, yeah.
Major changes. I mean, we've made a lot of changes, but it's nothing relevant to you guys, such as one thing I'm still proposing is that we make a lift assist call type. It doesn't make sense to send a full response for a fall when somebody's not injured. They just need the manpower to get up. Those are the kind of real changes that we made. Last month, they held a vote to agree to, if we verified an accident was non-injury, it used to be, even though airbags were deployed, we still had to roll out a full response, which is quite a few trucks. If you guys have ever been on an accident scene, and then they'd get there and they weren't needed. So we just asked that if it was verified, we were speaking to a first-party caller.
That's excellent.
And they said they weren't injured, or they just had a little scrape and denied EMS. Even though there was airbag deployment, EMS was on board, that they didn't have to.
That's an excellent point. We had an injury out at the shop weeks ago, and 2 ambulances showed up.
So.
Was it an ambulance and a rescue truck?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was an ambulance
what
and a
it was?
rescue truck. Unless,
Most everything.
I had like 8 questions about that. Why do you have all these people out here?
most everything is an ambulance and a first responder. But yes, so the first responder can come in the form of a rescue
Okay.
truck. The reason behind that is for those dual responses are in Abilene, if there's a, where you in Abilene?
Just outside of town.
Okay, so you get a quicker response because there's an EMS usually here unless they're out on a call. But you never know when they're gonna be out on a call. So if we do those dual responses, help can get to the citizens quicker.
Okay.
And especially like out in the county, those first responder or rescue trucks get on scene before the medic.
And in the business that you're in, if it's an industrial accident, if you will, or a farm accident, then you're going to need that rescue truck.
Or they tend to use more manpower.
Or have.
You did great. I don't want to complain about the service.
Yeah.
It's very prompt. But I had a couple people ask me that question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I should wait. We just set the budget in.
Last week, I believe it was, there was an airbag accident on the overpass in the interstate. I really thought it was something major with all those responding trucks, but.
You don't know until you actually roll up on scene what
and
you're
if
gonna
you
get
don't have
into.
a-
That makes sense.
You have a caller that's just reporting it passing by, it looks sometimes worse than it is, so.
So the question got asked, if it was, I don't know, a good scenario here. Just like a fall injury.
Mhm.
Do we have all three departments showing up? Firefighter, EMS, and police?
No, not for a fall.
Okay,
Police
that's,
does not.
okay, that was a question I asked. I thought, I don't
It's
know
actually-
why they would do that.
They're not, law enforcement wouldn't be dispatched in something like that unless the situation calls for it.
Okay.
Can't say that they don't show up, but yeah, they are
So they might-
not
okay.
dispatched.
It's actually something we discussed at our last advisory meeting was, I wanted more of a set, what do you want law enforcement to come to?
Yeah.
So we went with most of the, I hate to use the term common sense ones, but of course, if it's a code blue and unconscious because we don't know the reason, anything involving children, if it wasn't like, if it's an 8-year-old that wrecked his bike on the sidewalk, has a broken arm, we're not gonna roll law enforcement for that. But if it's a 3-year-old that fell off the bed and is now unconscious, law enforcement's probably gonna go just to make sure everything's.
Sounds like I just need to read the bylaws and I know.
No, like, we
No.
put in there,
They're not in there?
So many situations.
I think you guys do get the meeting notes. If not, we could for sure always include you guys on the
Do that.
meeting notes. But I also wanted to point out, so Chapman, their chiefs and the assistant chief also are firefighters. So sometimes it appears they go as first responders, but if they were on duty in police uniform,
Sure.
it looks like police came, but they just do dual hats in a lot of the little places.
No, I don't want to poke too much. I think we do a pretty good job, so.
Yeah,
Well, so much you rely on the person that calls it in
exactly.
too. And
And a good example of that is, we took a median grass fire probably about a month ago on the interstate for a fully engulfed median that several callers did call in. It spanned from 1 mile. This happens a lot on the interstate. You get differences in the miles because just depends on when they call and then they say, oh, it was here, could have been a ways back. But how it was described to us as a pretty good median fire. We didn't get a great response because a lot of our rural fire guys work full-time jobs. So we didn't have many trucks going. So based on what we were told, I called the chief, tell him like, hey, it's fully engulfed. They arrive on scene, they have a hard time finding it. They find a 10-foot section that had burned itself out. So to your point, you can only go off with the callers.
well,
I mean,
years
better safe
ago,
than sorry, though.
I had a deal out here on Enterprise Road and a car was down in the ditch. And I stopped just to see if everything was okay. And the guy that caused the accident that had some other issues said, yes, everything was okay. And then I asked the other lady, are you okay? And she said, not really. And so then I called in, and that's back when they had bag phones. So this goes back a ways, but I called in and someone else had stopped, got the same information, got to town and called it in as a non-injury accident. So when I called it in 5 minutes later, they're saying, well, they said there was nothing going on.
Right.
And by that time, the lady was in shock and, you know,
In dispatch,
but the first person kind of based it on the person they talked to
in dispatch, we despise the not really answer. Many questions, we say, are they awake? Not really. We train, as a no, and it's not a, someone can't be, not really the way it's probably.
Not really.
So they don't give us a yes to certain questions, we assume it's a no. We get not really or sort of a lot, sort of. Like, well, then that must be no.
Well, we had an incident in Woodline some time back. There was a young lady sitting along the curb and there was a dog buyer. And the postman, he's federal, right? That's federal workers. He walked by the little girl and asked, does your dog bite?
I didn't even know who we
And she said no. And when he got past her, the dog tore his pants almost off. And he looked back at the little girl and he said, I thought you told me your dog didn't bite. And she said, I did. That's not my dog.
Oh, yep. Interpretation, for sure.
A clean one with.
See, that could be a deal. That's one.
Well, no.
You guys do a good job. I do have a serious question. The 4-H campus located in that area. Have you guys responded to anything in that area?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're aware of it.
Okay, you're aware and
Yes.
situational awareness, okay.
Yep. They do a pretty good job, different organizations that come in or
Yes.
if an event's happening in Abilene, like at Oktoberfest. We get a heads up, we get contact numbers if something would happen to call.
Yeah.
You guys did, I was listening downstairs on the, there was a question on townships. So I just recently learned this because Abilene's different than, where I came from, so I'm not used to townships.
Sure.
Apparently dispatch does have a large township call list. No, they'll hit the guy's specific question, but this weekend we had, I guess somewhere, I'll mispronounce this, like the Willowdale Township. And so somebody, the roads had gotten torn up. I'm learning that was a township response, and so we do have we got a good number that we added to that list, which is where I learned of it, like, oh, well. So if anybody did have questions, dispatch has that list.
Okay.
Anything else? All right.
So,
Thank you.
See you next.
thank you. Well,
Question.
oh, that's good.
Our Amish population, do they pay real estate taxes? Because
I think they do.
They're under the church or whatever. Do you know? Are they, all these buildings on tax rolls?
I'll be completely honest, I would think they are, but I don't, I'm not gonna tell you I know that.
We'd have to look for the ownership
Well, I
on
mean,
how
that's
that
a lot
is.
of
Get
buildings,
Lisa up
that's
here.
a lot of revenue that.
No?
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
time to go,
Yeah,
well,
well,
we
yeah.
don't know, so,
Well, have you ever ridden one of those box buggies?
no,
That's scary.
12-year-old kids getting hit when
Oh.
driving them at night out.
Well,
Oh.
when I was at Blue Ridge, they had an accident up there where an Amish boy got kicked by a horse.
Oh,
And the ambulance went, but they have no insurance.
oh, they do it within their.
They're, yeah, and so
Self-insured.
this dad was trying not to put this kid in the ambulance.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got their own rules.
Yeah, I
And
know,
their own way of going about things, not that
Yeah.
it's wrong
yeah,
at all, but, it's kind of a gray area, I think.
yeah. I know down by Yoder, there's accidents often with those,
Yeah.
and they're off the side of the road, so they're, I know here in Dickinson County, I suggested here quite some time ago that if they were gonna be on the road, I personally, mess with some of that. I think they need to have that little strobe light on top of that, because you just don't see them, especially at night. They travel at 0 miles an hour compared to a vehicle.
Well, and then or an SMV side,
Yeah, and you just approach them too quick, though.
slow moving vehicle sign.
Well,
Just remember,
sometimes they do,
I
but
think
not
they
all
do,
of them.
yeah.
Yeah, so I was curious, because we've talked over there whether they're under the guise of the church, and
Yeah.
that's like a lot of buildings. And then there's.
Have the appraiser
several
come up
little
and ask that
bakeries.
question.
There's little bakeries north of
Yeah.
town that have little bakeries. Now, there's been a greenhouse for a few years. I'm pretty darn sure they do charge retail tax there, so they may be on the up and up, but
Mhm.
I don't know about the rest of it. But anyway, real estate tax that would be a big deal.
I'm sure they.
So we've been,
Yeah, no. We can ask.
There's Lisa.
Lisa, right here. We had a question.
Yes.
I'm like, oh no.
I don't have a question. Yes, sir.
We had a question on the Amish properties
Yes.
and whether they pay real estate tax on those. Do they pay taxes on those?
Absolutely, yes.
So it's property tax owned by individuals.
The question was it under their church and?
If it's under a church, they have to apply for an exemption through the Board of Tax Appeals, just like anybody else would.
Okay.
And they have to show that there's not an income producing property. If there is, it's gonna be taxed at its correct classification.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of.
It's a big question, but.
Oh, yes, there is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So not that we need this answer now, but we did have a discussion earlier because there were some that as they find out they do not have permits, so probably they aren't on the tax rolls, and so then they go on. And we kind of have an interest what the impact is on that
We,
we have, but also some of these permits that have been issued will not go on the valuation until they're completed in 2026.
that is correct, yes.
So we're trying to kind of figure out from an economic standpoint, how do you project some of that? Because it'd be helpful information for EDC and so anyway, I don't expect a full answer, but maybe.
I was just gonna say, we're in the process of picking up building permits. It's a process of picking up, listing, and then of course valuing. And so we're just in the process of valuing. So looking into the future of what's done or what's not done, we're not even done going out and seeing what is actually completed yet. We're hoping to have that done by around December. As far as new construction and what we're looking at, that'll probably not be until we send out value notices or get closer to that time of year. So probably March is what we're looking at to even kind of have an estimate. But what's complete will go on. What has just started will not go on until 2027 because we're already in the 2026 year for our purposes.
Okay.
So
So maybe in March, we could get some sort of idea. And really, I guess the question is, are we growing?
we are growing.
At the essence, is our county growing?
Economically and population.
Yeah, both.
Okay, so it's kind of going to be an interesting year because this is the first year that we're going to feel any kind of impacts from legislation's decisions last year to cut all the personal property. That's going to be a hit on personal property side. That's going to be a hit on the overall valuation for 2026. How much? I don't think a lot because I believe your real estate and especially the new construction, I think that's going to bring us up. Don't know what ag values are going to do yet. That may go down. Looking at an 8-year average, last year they started going down, or 2 years ago they started going down. I don't know if we're gonna, when we mellow that out again. So there's a lot in that process that we're just now getting to. So
I assume the valuation of ag lands dependent upon the commodity prices and the produced amount, and they go off like
yeah.
averages and.
So it's an 8-year average.
Okay.
So that's kind of one of the things that is not always the greatest. It works okay for ag until we have years that the values are high and the prices are extremely low. And we get that.
Like this.
That's one thing I do not want to see happen with residential properties or even commercial properties because they've talked about the 5-year rolling averages. You've heard those. You're going to have the same thing. You're going to have things when years are lower and they're getting taxed higher if you do an average. You really notice it on the ag values though, just because of prices. I mean, that's, you may have a high value year and then a high expense year as well. And you're going, this can't be right. Why? But yes, anything is taxable. If there's a doubt, it goes to the Board of Tax Appeals. But I mean, they can even like what do I want to say, 1201. Like a 1201C, is that what it is?
501c3.
Say that again?
501c3.
501c3. That's what I want to say. They are not tax exempt. They are just classified at a different classification. So a not-for-profit, which is a 12%. So anything is taxable unless it goes to board.
Okay.
At fair market value unless it's.
Good question on Amish properties.
Yep.
So
Okay.
the Amish are, they're really civilized.
Absolutely, yes.
So, but most of the time, correct me, which they don't have, is in your house, such as the prices of it, they don't use plumbing or.
Correct.
So how, to have that be valued if they were actually to move, which I had a realtor in Clay County tell me a long time ago, said yes, they have the money to buy things, but they cringe because when they buy a house, they go in and start stripping out all of the plumbing.
Yes.
And if that ever is to come back on the market, it's not worth nothing.
Yeah.
A regular, so how is that, is that appraised? Is that, do they have plumbing? Do they have, electricity? And how does that affect then, the tax base, their taxes, the township, the county?
I can just talk about their property. I can't talk really about the overall everything of it. But when I have a hearing with them, which I have had, obviously there's no fixtures, there's no plumbing. And so in our Orion system, it allows us to not account for those fixtures. And so that already is like a adjustment to lower that because there's no fixtures in there. The other thing that we can do is we lower like our condition desirability utility, which is our CDU rating. And so we can put that down to like a fair condition or poor condition, where most homes have that and everything. So that's more of an average or a good. So we make adjustments on that on evaluations.
So then what as far as our county, like we have a lagoon, because the ground went firm and stuff. So what do they do? I mean, they all look at it just like we do, but where is their what is their septic?
That
Do
is
they have
not
a-
something I would know. That would definitely
That would be
more
a part of
of
it.
a-
Yes, right, I mean, the value of
Yeah.
the property.
But we don't value the
That just
lagoon.
popped in my head. What is their septic?
I'm sure that would be definitely.
They have to pull a permit. They'll have to
Yes.
talk with Martin and Tim, and there are there's guidance on there what they can and cannot have out there, definitely. So, but they still have to visit with the Environmental Services Department on that. Yeah. Do they always do that? No, they do not.
We have found, we have a lot of activity up in the northern part.
Good place. You think we're gonna get more building and construction in cities?
In the county,
They're gonna-
without
they're
the
gonna
cities,
come out because-
70% is probably up in the north.
Yeah.
So I gotta figure it out.
So yeah, it's getting work in process.
I just came up with my, what is their septic system?
We are road system set up.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of kids.
They do. They do.
Yes. And then, like I said, unfortunately, I cannot tell you much about that disposal.
What we look at is in the
I
city,
can just say
build
we
a house and you
have
can touch your guy's house.
in the
5 years.
Yes.
We like that spread.
They come in, if they're building permit, they're directed to environmental.
There used to be, you had to get a
Services.
fire
Yeah, yeah.
truck.
Now, if they are disposing of it properly, our next step is contacting KDHE. That's all
Together.
to help us
Yeah. Yeah.
deal with that.
That's where I'm leading at.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, yes.
They had, what do you
And
say?
KDHE is aware.
What we do?
Yeah, that was.
I just-
Construction is pretty easy.
Right.
Then what
Because
about
then you drive
yours?
down into town.
Yes.
And, yeah, and stuff, and Rain Road is very, very busy.
Did you have any further questions for Lisa?
No.
No, we're off on another.
Good talking to you. Thank you, Lisa.
Great to see you again.
But
That's Deb with Cheever Township. She's.
I was gonna say, you're here for the,
Public hearing.
you're here for the public hearing, so.
Remind me the procedure.
So you'll open the public hearing and ask for comments or questions, and then you'll close it, and then the commission will discuss.
A motion to open, motion to close. Okay.
And then you'll have, or no, you don't have to do a motion to open, motion to close.
We don't, just open it. Okay.
And then you'll have the resolution afterwards. Should be pretty straightforward.
Just give the time when I do it instead of at the beginning, so we don't have to.
It's technically in the paperwork, I think we set it at 11:05,
I know.
that the note, that the hearing would take place at 11:05, so.
Today. Okay.
So, sometimes we get through everything quickly, and then you can go into other business, or we can just hold for a second until time comes up.
I'll just do roll call
Mhm.
and then,
You have to do it at 11:05 or after.
okay, or after, so it doesn't have to be, okay. So I'm just gonna look through the agenda then.
Yeah. I haven't heard from Doug, I believe. No, he's not gonna be here, remember, he's in, training, that's right.
We got about 4 minutes here. We'll open up the meeting officially, do a roll call, and then we'll open the hearing once we get through the agenda a little bit. So won't be exactly 11:05, but maybe a little later.
No.
I know. I think it accidentally got in somebody's bag and then got brought back here.
It made me laugh a lot this morning. Oh, I've never seen anybody take something and bring it back to you. What's there?
Anything else for me?
Halloween go for everybody good.
It's hunting.
Yeah.
I dressed up as a hunter.
Oh, you were, oh, you did for Halloween.
You know, Abilene,
He was really out
they all
there.
go to Third Street and Vine Street.
That's what they do here in town.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
Wow.
So,
They have,
Yeah.
Shiloh lives on that corner right there at 35, and she's had upwards of 800.
You serious?
Yes.
How do they afford the
So they-
candy?
Oh, thank you.
How do they afford the candy?
Well, it gets very expensive. Somebody used, Tim and Tara Moore used to do hot dogs. And
Yes.
then Jeanette Sexton
Mm-hmm.
do Twinkies, because sometimes we've gone over there.
Ooh, that's a lot of Twinkies. man.
That's a lot of Twinkies.
That's a lot.
Yes.
no, I mean,
So
most
break
of
it off
them,
in half.
it could be $1,000.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Man.
Crazy. I haven't gotten a message back yet, so, but I will find out and let you
Oh,
know.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Oh, I know, but I know. I,
But no, Kerry called because he wanted to know how city was gonna have to start making
sure.
plans, and I don't know why he thought I'd know.
Well, you're in the know for everything.
There's not anything to add to the agenda.
The 911 advisory board bylaws,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
amendments to or updates to.
Option of the amended
There you go.
District Communications Center Advisory Bylaw.
911 advisory board bylaw.
Oh, we have emergency communication on the sheet.
Well, I think it needs to be the,
911.
yeah. Oh, we need to, this is for their budget. We'll have to get this filled out, so.
I'm a stickler for
And
formality.
then we'll have Jennifer sign it and we'll return it to them. That's just for their allocation for that.
That's who was doing it. We get you one.
Oh, gotcha.
You said that. I brought one for them.
I have one somewhere. Came back with a little bit of a folder with your daughter. Is she feeling better?
Yeah. That's an announcement. I'll attend it. I think, Ron, do you plan on attending Lynn's ribbon cutting deal? No?
I'm actually gonna be gone.
I just want to make the announcement.
No.
Commissioners to attend.
Nothing against you, Lynn.
Sure.
They won't have to bite you.
I don't mean to. That was about to. Sorry, guys. Call this meeting to order. If it all rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Moving to approval of agenda. Today, we have 3 other businesses. One is a public hearing for Cheever Township, declaring a portion of 3500 Avenue and Jeep Road and Hawk Road as minimum maintenance. We also have resolution 110625 to declare the minimum maintenance road of 3500 after the public hearing. We will also have hearing the adoption of the amended 911 advisory board bylaws. That is our agenda today. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Moving down to consent agenda, the minutes are provided for you in your October 30th meeting in your packets, commissioners. Payroll of $414,461.79. Full worker pay of $8,483.60.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving to commissioner comments and committee reports. Why don't we start on the far end, Ron?
I just want to say harvest is rolling along pretty good, it looks like. Most of the crops are pretty well harvested. The weather's nice, and this is really a beautiful time of the year. The leaves are turning and everything's looking kind of pretty. So that's all I have.
I agree. Lynn?
I don't have anything at this time.
Okay. I don't have anything either. I was on vacation last week, so that was great. Go ahead and go down to public comment. If County Administrator Janelle Dockendorf would read the rules, please.
For the Open Meetings Act, KSA-75-4317 and 75-4318A, as the elected board, the county commission is not allowed to meet or make any decisions without posting the meeting. They are only allowed to act on items on the agenda which they set. During their regular meeting, the county commission may allow for public comments on items not listed on the approved agenda. It is at the discretion of the county commission if they allow comments on agenda items. If you wish to provide comments, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address. If you are online, raise your hand and we will unmute you. Please state your name and address. Each person may speak for 3 minutes. The allotted time will start after the speaker has given his or her name and address. Public comments shall be addressed to the county commission only and not to the speaker or the audience. Only the county commission will be permitted to ask the speaker questions. The public comment period is not a back and forth discussion with the county commission. You should make your views and input known to them, but it is not a time to ask them questions. You should not expect them to respond to your comments. Comments may express support or agreement with the previous speakers, but in the interest of time, please do not repeat the same information. You may state something to the effect of your name and address and you agree with the previous speaker. It is important to maintain a respectful, non-threatening atmosphere for anyone who would like to speak. Please do not engage in such actions as cheering, booing, clapping, insults, threats, etc.
Any public comment at this time?
Don't see anybody online.
We'll stall just a little bit longer. We're at 11:05, baby.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and go down to reports. Oh, I'm sorry, from public comments. We just did that. I'm a little rusty, y'all. Let's go down to reports from county officers, starting with County Administrator Janelle Dockendorf.
Commissioners, this is a question that's been coming in quite regularly. The Public Works Department is mowing the roads. We have over 600 miles between the 2 passes that we'll have to mow, but we are getting them mowed. They have a plan. They start in one side of the county and work their way around, and we alternate that every year. So Public Works Department is also shouldering Old 40 east from Solomon to Abilene. As you recall, we had done the pavement work there. So we do have an open mechanic position in Public Works. So we have a mechanic that's leaving, but we need to get that filled. So if you're interested, please look at the county website or contact Martin Tannehill. And the emergency manager is teaching the CERT class at the Abilene High School next week, and that is the community emergency response team. He had a class scheduled for this week in the evenings, but and had 6 or 7 signed up, and then they didn't show up. So we'll try to do that again. And county offices will be closed November 11th in observation of Veterans Day next week. And we have Operation Greenlight, so we'll light up the outside of the courthouse in honor of our veterans. And that's something that we've been doing for quite a number of years. So I just want to say thank you for their service. And that's all I would have.
Good. Thank you, Janelle. Don't believe our county counselor is gone today at training, so we will not have a report from Doug Thompson, county counselor. We'll go down to notices and communications with County Clerk Jennifer Gayton.
Hello. This Friday, November 7th, 2025, they're going to celebrate Lynn Peterson's well-deserved retirement after 52 years in the memorial art business and welcome the new owners, Troy LeDuc and Missy LeDuc of LeDuc Memorial Designs. This starts at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Also, I wanted to give a brief update on the election. We have 13,854 registered voters, 2,481 ballots cast, which came to a 17.91% total turnout. If you'd like the full listing of all the election results, please visit our website at www.dkcoks.gov/elections, and then you will click on the elections results tab. That's it for me.
Excellent. Thank you, Jennifer.
Also, the commissioners will be attending that open house and retirement for Lynn Peterson, that I mentioned just a minute ago.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go ahead and move down. I'm going to open up a public hearing for the Cheever Township request declaring a portion of the road from 3500 Jeep and Hawk as minimum maintenance. So we are going to open up for public hearing at this time. If there are any comments towards that.
You can gavel.
Should I gavel? Or a public hearing?
My name is Deb Craigbaum. I live at 1188 3500 Avenue. I'm the trustee for the Cheever Township. And the reason that we have decided to request the minimum maintenance on this road is number one, it's dirt from 1188 35 going west is dirt to Hawk Road. We'll continue to maintain the road like we do presently, which is usually about twice a year. We don't normally do snow removal on that road. And I think probably the main concern is that it's going to reduce our liability for anyone who's traveling on that road. Those that live around the area understand you don't go down that road if it's muddy, wet, snow. But we do have, on occasion, people follow their Google and they come off the Hawk and they go east on 35. And there's been several people that have been pulled out. Maybe last time someone called us, it was a few days before they got pulled out. It was that bad. And also when you go from 1188 3500 down to Indy Road, there's a creek that runs through there. And if we get a big rain, it roars through there. And I just feel like as being on the board that the liability that we're exposing ourselves to as a township, we just need to go ahead and do the minimum maintenance and with the signs up so that everybody will know you travel at your own risk, and that takes the liability off the township.
I appreciate you mentioning that as far as the signage, because that came up in a question previously, that it is the township's responsible for the signage, but it's helpful for people that are
Don't
not
know.
familiar with
Exactly.
that area, perhaps.
Exactly, right. It'll start right past 1188 3500. We'll have one there. We'll have one at the intersection of 35 and Indy on both sides. And then at 30, at Hawk on 35. So there'll be a total of 4 signs there. So people be aware of it. Because if you make a mistake and go down those roads when you shouldn't, it can be.
You're stuck.
They're stuck, exactly.
Yeah, just as I know that probably most of us know this, but I'll just say it for the public. If it's rainy and it says minimum maintenance, I highly suggest you don't go down the road.
Exactly.
I know that for most of us, that's pretty common, but for some who don't know, don't do that.
Yeah.
You'll be walking to a farmer and knocking on his door trying to get him to pull you out.
So that's why we are requesting that.
Okay, makes sense. Any other comments concerning the moving this road to a minimum maintenance? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. Thank you. So moving down to the order of business, resolution 110625 to declare minimum maintenance road on 3500 Avenue between Jeep and Hawk Road. as stated before, that's exactly what we're doing. So
So following the hearing, I do move that we go ahead and adopt that resolution 110625 to declare that a minimum maintenance road for 3500 Avenue between Jeep Road and Hawk Road.
so heard.
I'll second it.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Send you a copy of the resolution.
You have.
Thank you.
You need this version. Did we already sign one?
I can believe you signed one. I'll scan it and send it to them.
Thank you. Last agenda item was added today, which is the adoption of the amended 911 advisory board bylaws. We heard from our emergency management director, no,
Emergency communication.
emergency communication director this morning. This is the continuation of an agreement we already had. We amended the agreement to, I believe, I don't have that. One of the big changes she mentioned is that the bylaws, if there was any amendment to the bylaws in significant matter, they would go to the county administrator and she would bring that to the Board of Commission to amend it. Other than that, I think we added a few positions, if I'm not mistaken, which is one appointee for Woodbine, appointee for the Dickinson County Sheriff's Office, and president of the County Fire Chiefs Association also can have an appointee. Emergency Medical Services Director and Emergency Preparedness Director. And essentially what we're trying to do there is have a well-rounded advisory board that hits all the emergency departments. That way we have a good representation on that board. I'm kind of taking.
Nope, you got it.
Okay. But that is essentially what this is. This is available for the public if you guys are interested in seeing it. So if you are, you can reach out to our County Administrator, General Dockendorf, to get that. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Commissioners?
Well, previously, this was also adopted and approved back in year 2000. So it's always good to pull these things out and see if they need to be updated or language clarified. So I appreciate staff taking time to bring this for review for us.
It's also, correct me if I'm wrong here, Janelle, we're doing this also because of the new radio system that we're about to implement, the 800 radio system. So some updates needed to be had and some policies and bylaws need to be updated. That's another big reason for it. Okay. I would move that we adopt the amended 911 Advisory Board bylaws as written.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. That concludes our business for today. So I will motion for, well, unless we have any more discussion matters, I will motion.
Road and Bridge have anything for us?
Yeah,
or-
I'm curious.
I'm here for the tour.
You're for the two? Yeah.
Ron's got something.
I do want to make one announcement. I did receive a call today on Highway 43 and 1100, the railroad crossing there. There's been some warning to call to me that the trains come through pretty good and it's blind. People can't see long enough to get across there when the trains come. So maybe our deal out today, we need to take a look at that.
Okay.
But folks are concerned about the safety, saying there could be somebody getting killed on that particular crossing.
Okay.
Okay.
And procedurally, that's something for any flashing light or anything like that would have to go through the railroad, but I mean, but if there's any signage or anything we can do, we need to.
We're talking about weeds and other things that were blocking the vision. So,
Again, the railroad was supposed to take care of that, but.
but we need to take a look at it.
Absolutely.
Let's let them know.
Yeah.
Anything else, Commissioners? I'll motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
You're adjourned. Thank you all.